So this is the cosplay tag. I actually wasn't tagged by anyone. I kind of stole it from both Bishinizers and Shark Baroness. I will link both of their channels in the description. Question number 1 is, what is your cosplay name? My cosplay name is Your Shitty Neighborhood Con Vlogger. I used to go by the Cryptic Grave, which I hadn't gone by that for very long. That was my main Tumblr account. And then I went to SakuraCon in Seattle, and that's when Your Shitty Neighborhood Con Vlogger happened. Being a very, very shitty vlogger. Because I was vlogging and I wasn't vlogging very much. I was joking with my friends there that I'm such a shitty vlogger, and then I ended up just picking Your Shitty Neighborhood Con Vlogger while I was there. I think it started with Your Neighborhood Shitty Con Vlogger, but then I just turned it to Your Shitty Neighborhood Con Vlogger, which then I shortened to YSN CV, which I kind of say in my head, Osnikov, but whatever works. What got you into cosplay? Like, when I was in 7th or 6th grade, something like that, I got into reading manga and watching anime. My friend and I really got into Bleach. So for Halloween, we had our parents make the Soul Reaper uniforms. So that was pretty much my very first cosplay, that of which I just thought was, like, as a Halloween costume. I didn't know I was cosplaying at that time. More than a few years later, I think I was in like 9th grade or something, in late October, on the news they would be advertising Youmacon. They would vaguely talk about cosplay, and it just seemed really interesting. I didn't go to Youmacon until 2011, and that was my first time going to a convention ever. And that was where I saw cosplayers and all this stuff, which I still wasn't fully into cosplaying at that time. But because of that, going to a con and experience it for the first time in person, I got into looking up this stuff. So I looked up things that I liked, and I looked up like cosplays for them, and that just really pulled me into the whole thing. How long have you been cosplaying? If you count that very first Bleach cosplay, mine was Ichigo. If you count that, I've been cosplaying for around 8 years, but officially, I have only been cosplaying since 2013. As of 2015, I have only been cosplaying for about 2 years, so I'm still new into cosplaying. How many cosplays have you done? About 9? And mine's the ones I'm currently working on. The one I'm wearing right now, which you can't really see, is my gender-bent Poison Ivy cosplay, which kind of is reminiscent of the Batman of Shanghai. What was your first cosplay, and how do you feel about it? Well, technically, I could say my first cosplay was Ichigo from Bleach. I mean, I feel really great about it. I'm really proud of my mom for making all of that. But the first cosplay I made that I did by myself was Damian Wayne Robin. I am so proud of that cosplay. There's so much on there. Like, it gave me a whole lot of skills just for doing one cosplay, so I am really proud of that. What is your favorite cosplay? Pretty much anyone that I don't go back and recognize the flaws in, but also pretty much all of the cosplays I have made are my favorites because I put so much time and effort into them. Usually my favorites are whichever ones I'm currently working on. I could go through all of the cosplays I have done, which isn't many, but I could go through all of them and pick out parts that gave me experience and say, this is my favorite because of this aspect. What is your favorite thing about cosplay? I really enjoy drawing out and like figuring out how the costume is made and then making the pattern and sewing it together. I really abhor the cutting out fabric, and which is why in some of my cosplay logs you will see that I do not pin the fabric down. I just trace out the pattern and just cut it because I hate that part so much. What is your cosplay pet peeve? I don't necessarily have anything, but the biggest thing that does aggravate me, which is in the cosplay community, but it's the whole, you can't cosplay this character because you are blank. How do you get your cosplays? I make them all. Unless there's something that can be bought. Simple parts of the cosplay, if I can find them, something similar to them, I will buy them. What is your most recent cosplay? Most recently worn or most recently made working on? I don't know what this is, what the question is referring to, so I'm just going to answer both of those. So most recently worn at a convention was, I believe it was Tintin, because that was what I wore on the last day of SoccerCon. And I haven't been to a con since then, and that was early April. I mean, cosplay in general, the last one I kind of did was a closet cosplay of Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which was not Spike, it was Punk Spike from 70s Spike. But that's been a while too. Most recently working on is a combination. I mean, I just finished the Gender Bent Poison Ivy not too long ago, but I'm still working on like many different cosplays. Still not finished with Gabumon from Digimon. Then I am currently working on Gray from Torchwood. And this is the end of the cosplay tag. I tend to not tag people to do these sorts of things, but so I mean, if you're a cosplayer and you're watching this, go ahead, do it. I would love, and comment with like a link or whatever to your video, because I would love to see them. These are really fun to watch. But also, if you are one of my friends who ends up watching this, one of my cosplay friends that ends up watching this, do it. Why not? I mean, if you have time to do it, just do it. Have fun. Your shitty neighborhood con vlogger out.